that's another story that'll be sorted out once the race is over. But you've got, unbelievable advantage over most of the field. The 88 Mercedes beside you, though, is going to be a big threat.
Yeah, it's we've been in the race with the tire management and everything, so looking forward to it. For the moment, everything looks great, so we'll see who is the rivals and how far or close they are.
Well, with that kind of pace, it's not going to be a difficult afternoon. Thank you.
So Mathieu keeping it fairly buttoned up there, but I tell you, his teammates were massively impressed with his time when he got out of the car. He's apparently got out of his way. Well, that was a good one. But do not underestimate, particularly Raffaele Marciello, who will be in the 88 car. It won't be started by the Italian race. It will be, I was listening to Duno was started, but I think it ought to be third driver by Tristan Vautier. We'll see as we get going. But that got to within 0.169 of a second across the three drivers' times when they aggregated. So that ASP Mercedes seems to be at the sharp end. Let's go back down to Watty again, because we wanted to hear from Raffaele Marciello, Mercedes 38, and Watty has got the tall Italian.
30 seconds.
Again, another outstanding qualifying. You dragged every last out of performance out of the Mercedes.
Yeah, it was a good quality for us.
20 seconds.
We had a good average lap time, so we can be happy for our quality, but it's only the start. It's a long race, 3 hours. Our car here.
10 seconds.
So I think we can have a good race, but we will see.
Now, you're going to do the last stint as usual or a bit earlier?
No, the last one always.
And a brand new set of tyres for you?
Fine, we don't see because there is no degradation, so it's better to keep the new for other location. But the car is when there is no degradation, so I think we can do something.
And any strategy, obviously, leave the race.
Go, go, go.
Fabulous time, but there's that question mark over 76.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for the stream commentary being very delayed, as go-karting event at Port City Bandar has just come to a conclusion, and many of the organizers and drivers have been very preoccupied with said event. But we are now back. We are back. Oh dear. That is not what we like to see. That is not what we like to see. He's come out of this incident scot-free. Luckily to him. We have a whole bunch of McLarens. We have a Ford Mustang here of Yeshan. Fowles leading the way by 1.4 seconds to Aranga. We have Duran Abzekra currently in P3, Brian Pereira following him in P4. We're currently riding on board with Yeshan, who has dropped down to P8. And is currently leading Suit by Darna. We have, as we roll through these drivers, we have Abdullah Yusuf in his Optimum Motorsports car, currently in P6, holding up a massive train of cars. As we ride on board with Abdullah Yusuf, he's managed to pull away from this somewhat small train of cars that he's in front of him. We still have Mufalzil currently leading the technical order at the moment. With Aranga following him in close pursuit, 1.5 seconds behind. These two have been battling it out throughout all sessions we've known up to now. With Duran Abzekra currently P3 with his we have Brian Pereira, who is about 3.5 seconds away from the Abzekra. He's being closely followed by Angelo Serrano. The two GT7, GT Sport races at home competitors who held it on PS5 are now battling it out here on PCs in the ACC. Carries through and plows in behind Brian Guerra. The gap is now 8 tenths of a second. Closing in, but we do have the March goes sufficed. With information, he was 5 tenths behind. He was 5 tenths behind Siobhan in seventh. He is still hovering maybe around the second gap. So we will get on as accurate as possible, but he is still hovering around the second gap. The lap time set by Siobhan was a 2-minute 1.37, which is also his best lap time of the race. In practice sessions, I believe Siobhan was hitting lap times around the 2-minute mark. I'm sure there's more pace in the bag as fuel drops as the tires start to rain. And we could ride that on a little bit. Brian Guerra battled with Angelo Serrano. Angelo following in close pursuit of these drivers, maximizing these track limits, making optimal use of track limits. Yashan has a little bit of a mistake. Yes, Yashan is now battling Yusuf through Stoke into the finish. He has some front end damage to his front bumper, to his bottom, but for now he is managing. The gap between 2000 and has about a 1.5 second gap. We have a pretty big boring fight at the front at the moment, but once the momentum hits some of the effects, and once the fuel starts to deplete, we're going to see let's go down the grid a bit. Let's shuffle through the entire thing. We have Shane Buron, driving in P10 at the moment. His best lap time is actually lasted like Siobhan, 2-minute 1.3. However, he has started to drop off his 2-minute 3 now. We have Siobhan and was only 2 minutes 16, which is about 13 seconds off his usual pace. He might be suffering from some sort of damage or maybe we have Renata Ferreira. It is wonderful looking sketches inspired design. Oh, it's Valentino Rossi inspired design. Beautiful livery, as we said. Maybe Ronan is suffering from some sort of damage as well. Capital issues are a major aspect of ACC. And we have Dinesh Kakarjana, usually a well-established go-kart racing driver, one of the most established endurance racing drivers. And we have the welcome introduction of Savi Ratnayaka. Number 9, Savi Ratnayaka has decided to join the race. He was having technical issues. Up to now, he just completed the Speed Bay go-karting event just took place. And we have Savi in his pink Lamborghini. Savi will be a good 20 minutes and a good 10 laps down this race. But at this point, it's more about the experience. It's more about getting as many points as you can, because who knows, there could be major retirements throughout the race. As long as Savi can get going in his time delivery. The battle still ensues between Brian and Angelo. Angelo is still 7 minutes behind Brian. The gap is there. Brian with his BMW Team KMS 55 delivery. Whereas Angelo is currently running the Aston Martin. Oh, it's getting closer. It is getting much closer. Angelo is in the slipstream of Brian Guerra. He's in the slipstream. Brian has made a mistake out of 90 seconds. Angelo, looking for a move. Will he send it down inside his toe? No. Brian defends very well, middle of the circuit. Slows the pace down. Angelo will get the run out of the corner into the barrel shaking. But Brian is not speeding. We've seen it for the years in racing home across all gaming platforms. Brian knows how to defend even when he's facing the odds. And Angelo is definitely putting some pressure on him. And their best lap times are also insanely similar. Brian with a 1:59.7 in his best lap time. Meanwhile, Angelo Serrato with a 1:59.5. Angelo was marginally quicker on that last lap, but Brian has started to keep out that gap just a little more. And Angelo running wide, making a slight mistake all the while. With these two down the way they are. Although it may seem like they might slow each other down by pressuring them and they are actually Durham was intended to be a safer. At a rate of knots, they're only 5 seconds behind, and it is definitely possible to catch them, and this will soon become a battle for the podium final position from the battlefield before. As we see the various lines being taken, Brian taking a much deeper exit point out of the village corner, whereas Angelo will go actually more preparing himself. These are some very audacious track limits by both contestants. But nonetheless, Brian is making and more than anything, he is also increasing that gap slightly. Very little crosswinds for the drivers to manage to use, so managing that is not as difficult as it usually be, as we saw in Formula 1 with Max Verstappen being heavily caught out by crosswinds. It's a similar incident happened to Carlos Sainz. These drivers in their GP cars not have the same issues, but as you can see, that gap between Denton and Brian and Angelo Serrato is reducing very marginally, but it's a reduction by every corner. It's 4.7 seconds, and we will see an updated gap as they cross the line. There is a major battle for P8 between Yusuf, or P7 between Yusuf and Dinesh. Yusuf, very aggressive on the exit of Magnetic. He is now in the slipstream off Dinesh. Abdullah Yusuf, one of the biggest prospects of this race series. Oh, it's side by side. Oh, and there is contact. Presents Abdullah Yusuf wide. Will Dinesh slow down slightly? There is Dinesh. Abdullah Yusuf is not going to be happy about this. There doesn't seem to be damage to the car. Oh, but Abdullah Yusuf has fun. The tire is probably overheating with that Mercedes and the other stoke corner. And it's very unfortunate stuff probably. So Dinesh was it a racing incident? Was it Dinesh being way too audacious with his defensive maneuvers? That is for the stewards to figure out, as this is all about Chevron. At one point he was only a second and a half ahead of Dinesh in P7, and now Dinesh taking that gap out to almost 8 seconds. We go back up to the battle between, to the ensuing battle between Brian Pereira, Denon Abisekra, and Angelo Serrato. The gap is dropping. The gap is definitely dropping. Denon is doing his own thing in the Turin GP car. He does have a little bit of damage to the number, but that is not too much to be concerned about. But the gap is dropping as these two, Brian Pereira and Angelo Serrato, continue to battle.
circuit built on the perimeter road of World War II fighter station. And as you can see, there is a lot of flow around the outside of the circuit with some incredible sectors. Sector 1, wonderful twist halfway through Maggots and Beckett, down on the long hanger straight, and then you go to Sector 2, down into Bell, around the club.
Pit window is open. Green light, go, go, go.
We are back, and the mandatory pit stops are taking place. The pit window is officially open. And boy, do we have some pit stops being made. Almost everyone on the top floor is making a pit stop. But am I mistaken when I say that Angelo Cinerotna has not made a pit stop? I do not believe Angelo has made his pit stop on the same lap as all drivers. Yes, Angelo is currently leading. But a stop-go penalty for Fowler, which is potentially for speeding in the pit lane. That is going to have a major impact on the outlook of this race. Goodness me, we have Sabi Raika, who has joined the race 30 minutes in, but the crucial aspect is Fowler suffering with the stop-go, and a stop-go penalty for Denon as well. Oh my goodness, and Brian has given out incurring a stop-go penalty. What is happening to all these drivers? Well, Angelo leads out front. He has not made his pit stop yet. He's 35 seconds ahead of Fowler, but this throws everything wide open as suddenly Erango, who was keeping that gap consistent to Fowler, is now in a peak position to essentially take the place right back from Fowler. We have Fowler now in his oh dear.
We are halfway through, keep it up.
I don't know when the stop penalty has to be taken. This is a competitive race. As Aranga has lost time to pit, but it's going to come out well ahead. Fowler's coming at the end of this race with how it's panned out. This is an absolutely shocking development. And Sabi, doing his thing, is back. He is back. He's trying to claw in the missed opportunities he's had today, and potentially try to claw in a couple points with a top 10 finish. If he's able to benefit from certain potential DNFs from the drivers. We have Shane, who is trundling along. I don't believe he's made his pit stop yet. As Angelo Cinerotna is in the pits. Angelo is in the pits as Shane also dives into the pits. Now where will Angelo come out in respect to Brian? Will ride on board with Denon and Abisekra, who has lost some time to Brian. Brian is only 2.4 seconds behind Denon, but as we see Brian planting it out of the village complex, taking again audacious lines. I don't believe that actually has any impact on track limits in this game. Brian exiting Cop's corner. Angelo is out of the pits. Where is Angelo? That is the question. Angelo has jumped Brian in the pits. I believe he's jumped Brian as Fausel is in the pit to serve his stop penalty. Angelo has jumped the whole lot and has come out in P2. Amazing scenes. He's come out P2 ahead of Denon, and he's jumped Brian, his nearest competitor, by a long margin. He's jumped Brian by a major margin, considering he's jumped Brian by about 4.5 seconds, considering he was the second behind Brian coming into the pits. As Denon, it's a real shame after being so comfortable in third place with a potentially increasing battle from Brian and Angelo behind. Denon now also has a stop-go penalty which he will have to serve. As Shane also incurring a stop-go penalty from a comfortable P6. However, he is almost a good minute ahead of P7. Of Chevron in P7, which could potentially leave him without a risk of essentially losing the race. He's right on board with something. One of the best drivers on the grid on ACC and iRacing. He's got his work cut out. He's 13 laps down. He's currently in the wars. Making his way through. Unlocking himself position by position. It will be very, very difficult for him to be able to fight back from this, but all to none. He is putting on a show. As we ride on board with Denon. Denon is 7 tenths behind Angelo, and now Denon heels into service stop-go penalty. I believe these stop-go penalties are a result of speeding in the pit lane on the exit of their pit boxes. And it has cost Fausel the lead of this race, and crucially he is now a whole 25 seconds behind Brian at the time. But if anyone can make up this gap, it is Fausel. If anyone can make up a 17-second gap he has, it is Fausel Alim. We ride on board with our race leader. We have Teharanga in the lead of the race, currently blitzing the competition right now, 25 seconds ahead of Angelo, and I believe he has also made a pit stop. So this is essentially the net race lead. Yes, it is, because Angelo had made his pit stop from the lead race. Teharanga is now run away with his victory. Unless something was to go horrendously wrong for him, he has essentially secured himself a comfortable cushion of 25 seconds, as Brian is also now filing into P3 ahead of Fausel and Denon. Let's see where Denon has filed in relation to Fausel. Denon is currently behind Fausel. Denon is currently in the net P7. The graphic on iRacing is getting a bit delayed to update, but Denon, after his stop-go penalty, major impact, he's dropped all the way down to P7 from potential P3. Absolute disaster at the moment. Denon, can he claw back to an optimal position? However, we ride on board with Angelo
closing now.
Man, the hour with the optimal pit stop strategy. He went over by 2 laps. He did a 2-lap overcut on his nearest competitors, and he has made it work. Brian Pereira is currently sitting in P3, about 5 seconds behind him. Angelo, a master of strategy, must be said. He's taken part in numerous go-karting endurances, a well-established endurance race driver who's teamed up with the likes of Nish Puffer and Claude right now. And he knows his way around strategies. He's made strategies work, audacious strategies work in the world of GT7 as well, GT Sport. But you cannot discount Brian. Maybe the strategy did not work today for Brian, but if there's anyone that can pull back 5 second gap in no time, it is Brian Pereira. The same goes for Fausel, who has pulled back from 25 seconds. He's pulled the gap back to 22 seconds in the space of just under 2 laps. And we still have 24 minutes left in this race. We're only just over half race distance. All of the pit stops are out of the way. All of the drama regarding any penalties incurred in the pit stops are potentially out of the way, with Hiroshi-san still having a drive-through penalty to serve, which is potentially for an incident which he was involved in. But at the moment, The field is pretty spaced out. The field is pretty spaced out now. We have 3-second gap, at least a 3-second gap between all drivers. 13 lap gap. Second guy in ED14. He's trying a new path through with his Lamborghini. He's trying it out. Trying to see if he can make this work. Continue to ride on board with Brandner. Let's ride on board with Fauzo Ali. Potentially the fastest driver on the grid coming into this race, and proved that with the pole position ahead of the Brandner. However, although he's had the pace, he's pretty much maintained that gap to him this whole race. However, it's all come to nothing at the moment with something as simple as speeding in the pit lane after the pit stop's actually completed. It was not even on an entry to the pit lane. However, you cannot discount Fauzo as he is catching Brian at a rate of knots, an absolute rate of knots. The gap was 22 seconds at the start of this lap. Let's see the gap. 20 seconds, 20.4, it's game on. 22 minutes left in this race. And it's a 20-second gap. It's a 2-second per lap increase by Fauzo Ali. He is a man on a mission. This is one to watch. Brian, currently sitting in a bit of a comfortable podium, if in any terms, a 20-second gap to P4 is generally terms for a good, secure podium finish. However, Fauzo is making use of the power in that Ford Mustang, and he is powering his way up to Brian in P3. He wants to bring back that podium. He wants to get back what he lost. He may not be able to get the race win unless Aranda was to make some sort of mistake, as Aranda is also another 30 seconds ahead of Angelo in P2. However, Fauzo reducing that gap every single corner, 19.5 at the last detection zone, as Abdullah Yusuf rolls into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. Yet again, another unfortunate incident for another incredibly quick driver. Abdullah Yusuf was one of the fastest drivers on the grid during the ACC test round held at Monza. However, it's not gone well for him today. A mixture of incidents and a mixture of bad luck has caused him to come out in P9 once again. But now we have two Shanghai Racing as goes down significantly. You see Fauzo just chipping away at that gap. 19.2 now. We're going to enter the final corners of this lap. Obviously a different configuration for sports car racing as opposed to F1. The start-finish line heading through past the village complex as opposed to the exit of Vale chicane in F1. You see, Abdullah Yusuf actually coming out behind Shanghai Racing at another battle, which should ensue fairly quickly, as once again, from 20.4 seconds, that gap has dropped down to 18.8 seconds. Fauzo is catching at almost a second and a half, 2 seconds a lap, but really has enough time to catch down that entire gap to Brian Herrera. As there's 20 minutes left in the session, it's about 10 laps based on the current lap times they're conducting, and maybe an extra lap for the leaders to go through. So let's say you have 11 laps remain. Let's say he's catching at 1.5 to 2 seconds a lap. This is possible. By my own calculations, we don't have AWS calculations like F1 does here at Race Home, but by my own mental calculations, this could go down to the last couple laps. By my predictions, he might be able to catch Brian with about 4 minutes to go. But this all depends on him being able to keep his foot down and not make any more mistakes. So you see the gap currently at 18.4. Brian must be aware of this gap reducing. Even though this major gap does not seem like much, it can mean a whole difference if Brian's making even one mistake. One small excursion on the grass, one small spin or even a collision with a lapped car could mean Fauzo on the back of Brian. It could mean Angelo or Tahan making a blunder and bringing Fauzo to potentially grab a podium. 17.7 seconds. This is another 1.1 seconds gain on this lap alone, and we haven't even completed the lap yet. 17.7 as we round the final corners over through Brooklands, through Village. Now over onto the main straight here. What is the gap between Fowler and Brian? Enthralling mind games battle. 17.1, 1.6 seconds caught on this lap as well. Fowler is catching. It may seem like it's too much for him to handle, as there is only 18 minutes left. 18 minutes is 9 laps. 9 laps at 1.5 to 2 seconds is possible. But he needs to make it work. He might need to increase the gap reduction by just a little bit. He needs to push a little more, make it 2 seconds a lap. And then it's definitely possible. But we know, even though he may potentially catch Brian, catching one is a completely different matter altogether. As we know, Brian is not an easy competitor to overtake, but Brian, 16.4 seconds is only 7/10 gain in that one sector alone. The first sector of the lap alone through Mackett and Beckett has cost him 7/10 to Fowler. Amazing work by Fowler to be catching back up. On the other hand, we have an amazing piece of driving from... there's a crash with Sean Armstrong. We have just handed the camera to him as he has made an error. Not too sure where the error has taken place, as we see some in the pits. I'm not entirely sure why, but it could potentially be because of his mandatory pit stop. But Sean potentially out of the race now. He's going to take his damages, but I believe Sean might be out of the race. It's a real shame because he's going to potentially get even a small amount of points in the last points finishing positions. Alright, on board with Shane Virakun, who is catching. There is contact. There is contact with Bentley. I'm not too sure who Bentley is. Dinesh cut there now. Dinesh is still getting used to the ins and outs of iRacing, of ACC. I'm not sure how much race time he has had on ACC, but best believe once he does get into the things should get a lot easier before we go out. We have Angelo Senna having a bit of a quiet race right now. He is a good 5.5 seconds ahead of Brian. That gap has stayed at around 5.5 seconds ever since his pit stop. And the gap to Ham has increased rapidly over the last couple of laps. It is now 30 seconds, whereas it was about 24 seconds a couple of laps ago. So, must be said, Tehan is currently in a league of his own, as his only competition at the moment this race, Fowler has dropped down to 4. Fowler currently running with the fastest lap, as Angelo comes up to lap his go-karting near his teammate, who moves right out of the way to let Angelo through. Now one thing we want to see is how Brian gets past Dinesh Patharna. Will it be as easy? Something tells me this will not be as easy a move for Brian to make. Brian heads through onto the Wellington Straight. Sorry, this is the Hanger Straight. This is actually the move on Dinesh Patharna with Dinesh. Obviously, doing his perfect racecraft. He knows the lap car. He knows his requirements not to heavily hamper the leaders. Obviously, there was a bit of an incident with Shane, but no damage done. So right on board with Fowler again. The man of the hour. What is the gap? The wind has changed from crosswinds to maybe just a little bit of an angle wind. It's moving every single corner. However, let's see the crucial point, the gap. 14.2 seconds. That gap is dropping. We're going to see a crucial battle come the final laps of this race. Come on, Brian. Put your foot down a little bit. You can see this gap dropping. But then again, Brian is a smart driver as well. He knows potentially the best thing to do right now is to save his tires, keep the gap dropping by maybe 1.5 seconds a lap, save his tires for the end of the race, as he knows Fowler is potentially pushing like crazy to drop this gap, and those tires of Fowler's are potentially great. Brian knows this. Brian is potentially saving his tires and saving any fuel which he could use for his disposal to make the fuel mixture a bit richer. generate more power and be able to stay ahead of Fowles in the dying laps. As we ride back on board with the is currently miles clear. We recently just saw Fowles heading through to complete his lap, whereas Stefan is starting to complete the very next lap. The number one on his car, matching perfectly with his race position right now, and he is driving a perfect race. I don't mean to put the commentator's curse on him, but it must be said this has been a pretty flawless race so far. His best lap sitting at a 1:58.470. If we can slide down the order, see the fast laps off the likes of Angelo of 59.3, 59.5, which is second slower than the likes of 59.7 again, pretty similar lap times between Brian and Angelo. Again, almost second down. But we go to Fowles 58.2. This is the fastest lap of the race. He is now coming up behind Inish Paterna, which should not hamper him too much. However, any form of disturbance by the front can be a big issue, but Inish Paterna once again doing by his own, moving aside, 12.8 seconds. It's matching the minute counter right now. The seconds are matching the minute counter, but is it enough? At this rate, he would potentially catch Brian, but on the final lap, which would not be enough for Fowles. He needs to get right up behind Brian, at least a lap or two in hand, to even stand a chance of making a move on Brian Pereira. You can see he is pushing. Pushing, but consistently pushing. We ride down to Denon Abesekera, who has just got past Nimesh Dean, who has gone a little bit wide at Copscon onto the marbles. Denon clearly having a pace advantage to the cars he's battling at the moment. It's a real shame because he had the pace to potentially fight for the podium. He was there ahead of Angelo and Brian. He was right behind Angelo at the end of the pit stops. And actually within a second, he was there for the but he just couldn't make it work. He had a stop penalty. And now he's fighting in P6, 12 seconds behind Shehan. Will he be able to catch him? Shehan has had a very quiet race, it must be said. He got past the complete melee, the complete train for the fight for 7, and one by one, as people started to have issues, started to make mistakes, to get penalties, he's been slowly fighting up the grid, and now sits in a wonderful top 5 position. With the class of this field that we have right now, with the likes of Abdullah Yusuf behind him, and even Denon Abesekera, with the class of the field, and Sabi Rai for that matter, obviously not taking part in technical issues. With the class of the field you have right now, Shehan should be completely happy. Shehan should be completely happy with his result at the moment. As a top 5 finish goes a long way, 12 points in the championship with this finish. Let's see the gap between Fowles and Brian. The main battle of the hour. Fowles on the hanger straight, heading into Soul Corner. Wonderful sequence of corners. One of the best sequence of corners in F1 Grand racing and potentially GT3 racing as well. 9.85 seconds. That gap is dropping like crazy. He's gained much more than a second and a half of that last lap. It's gone down from 13 seconds to 9.8 seconds in the space of 3 minutes. Essentially a lap and a half. As we go right on board with Abdullah Yusuf, who is catching. No, whole train of cars. Not everyone in this train is fighting for the same positions, but the man in front of him, Shishan, is... Oh, it is wide! He is wide, but he keeps it on in the right direction. As we have a lap car moving off the line with Shishan in the blue Ford Mustang, staying ahead at the moment, but just barely. We have a move down the inside from Niro Sheshan, and he makes the move. Oh, and Abdullah Yusuf makes the move on Niro Sheshan. Moves up to the 8. But he has made a mistake. He's gone wide. He has run wide. But he will get away with it. Now he's coming up to lap. He's coming up to lap, running Carrera. Oh, and there's contact. There is contact as Ronan goes off on the grass. But I believe has gained significantly between himself and Abdullah Yusuf. Let's see. Can navigate his way past Ronan Carrera effectively. Run it. Even though he is a lap car, he is not making life easy for the fast cars on these laps. We see a slight mistake from Sheshan, who is now being pressurized by Sean who's back from having a damaged car. Sean is making a move down the inside. Neither driver knows what they want to do at this point. Sean is trying to unlap himself ahead of Sheshan. Sheshan does not want to be involved in an incident. And Sean does not want to go get himself involved in an incident. And amidst all this chaos, we have Shane Viragund, who is catching Sheshan on the radars. Shane Viragund, who also suffered from penalty, is now catching Sheshan, but he does have to make his way past Sean who is getting lapped. There is a mistake from Ronan Carrera, but he is getting himself on the lap as Sean Emerson. It's a real shame as he is another driver with the pace to fight for these crucial points position, but he does move across to let Shane through, and now Shane is on the back of Niro Sheshan. Will he be able to make the move? Where will he be able to make the move? Niro Sheshan getting a little bit too hot in the second sequence of magnetic, and that has compromised his line onto the hanger straight. As we see, oh, he's going wide into the barrier. There's contact. There is contact. It was not clear on the broadcast, but there was definite contact between Shane and Nirosh. And Nirosh is off in a major way. Sandra Agnew was also left pits. Meets this chaos, and the man who must have been breathing a sigh of relief now, Angelo Senra, came across that entire melee. Boy, was that a close one. Brian and Angelo both counting their lucky stars. As Brian, I don't believe Brian was impacted too severely by it, and Angelo now catching up on the back of Sean racing to essentially left Sean. Will Sean make it easy for him? Sean is known to be a notorious defender when it comes to online racing. He has moved out of the way very nicely indeed. It's a real shame we have not got to see Sean's offensive attack antics. Very close to the border shot. It's a real shame we couldn't see Sean's defensive antics this race due to various incidents that had damage to his car. We see Sabi basically getting some laps in. At this point, it's more testing period for Sabi. It's very unfortunate he had such technical issues, but he is just testing the ways of the NA's Lamborghini right now. As you can see, by the way, Sabi's navigating his way through the grid, the way he's easily past Shane. Sabi has the pace to get through. He had the pace to potentially fight in the top 5, and essentially not going to win like 6,000 today. But it will not be. As Angelo, currently in P2, a good gap away from this man, in the lead of the race, hasn't set a foot wrong, and he's 4 minutes away from the first victory of the 2024 race at home ACC season. 36 seconds to Angelo Serrata. That is a crazy gap. That is a phenomenon. However, we shall pass our attention back to the ensuing fight between Brian and Fowler. Where is Fowler? Fowler is right with Fowler. Fausto has lost that 59.8. He's stopped gaining as much on Brian. It's a real shame because this battle was set to come down all the way to Y. I believe Fausto might come across some background traffic. As you can see, Fausto is in the same frame as Brian Pereira. It's got so close yet so far for Fausto. And with all these lap cars potentially getting in his way, it's going to make his life a lot more difficult to actually catch up over to Brian. With 3.5 minutes to go in this race, plus a lap, we will potentially not see a move made by Fausto, but the track is 5.1 seconds. You can't say it's over, as Brian has had to navigate through this back market traffic. However, Fausto is now coming up to lap these cars as well. Will we see? I would hope they would really block Fausto. I want to see a final lap showdown between Fausto and Brian. But Brian is currently not setting foot wrong. Was he saving his tires, as I said this whole time? Was he saving his tires to be able to put one final push on a lighter load of fuel at the end of this race? The gap is 4.8 seconds with around 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go in this race. The gap is 4.8 seconds. As we see many cars in the pits, currently either retiring or repairing damaged cars. We see Fausto really be able to get past Sean Amarsinka effectively. Sean does move out of the way, and he has not hindered Fausto too much through 19 seconds. Let's see, will we see Fausto reel in potential podium from absolutely nowhere, 25 seconds away from Brian? And he has pulled that gap all the way back to 4.5 seconds, with potentially 2 or 3 laps to go in this race. We're counting down the minutes, we're counting down the seconds now. Denon Abesegura. What did I say? Denon has made a move on Chevron. We did not see that on the broadcast, but Denon has made his way back up into P5 after being in P7 and about 20 seconds down with the stop-go penalty he had incurred. Denon has fought his way back up to P5, and that is simply brilliant. We see Sabi, you can see the pace from Sabi, not wanting to get involved in the battle with Chevron, as that is a completely different battle. In comparison to Sabi, he does not want to ruin a battle with Chevron. Chevron does slot in behind Sabi though. I feel it's a real tactical move from Chevron to essentially be able to gain better speed and better intel from the likes of Sabi Ranarka. This seems to be the final top 5 grid order for this race. He's right on board with the Hanaraga. He is catching up to the lap car off Michelin. That's the thing, he's already lapping P7 off Michelin. I hope Michelin does not go to pull any strings on Tehan. He does move out of the way and lets Tehan through. The race leader, who has not put a foot wrong. Oh, it was a very close moment there with Dinesh Patirana. Dinesh Patirana, all drivers, has now found himself in the final points finishing position. This is what we need. This is what we need. Anything can happen in the world of ACC. And he's struggling so much with getting adapted to ACC. He's now found himself in P3, or in P10. Esteban Eranga, around the final couple of corners. I believe this is the final lap, and this will be the finish unless there is an additional lap for these cars to navigate through. I believe this will be the checkered flag for Tehan Eranga, and it is Tehan Eranga wins the first round of the Race at Home season, of the Race at Home ACC season. We're right on board with Angelo Senaratna, who is making his way onto the Wellington Straight. Angelo, Michelin finishing in a wonderful P7, Dinesh Patirana, against all odds, finishing in P10 on his sim racing debut, and will secure the final points positions. We have Angelo Senaratna currently rounding Village, Brooklands across the line. Angelo with a simply wonderful pit stop strategy to finish in a bit of a distant P2, but nonetheless a good battle with the likes of Brian Pereira. You see Brian Pereira finishing in P3 and Faisal Alim finishing just 2.2 seconds behind Brian at the end of the proceedings, and he will earn pretty much the same points as Brian with the fastest lap points. We have Shane finishing in P9, and we will see Denan Abesekra rounding the first, navigating through the first sector here at Silverstone onto the Wellington Straight. Denan Abesekra, another superb drive from Denan Abesekra. He will manage to finish this race in P5. It says P4 on the standings due to Faisal leave the session at the proceedings at the moment, but nonetheless, Denan Abesekra will take home P5 in this race, with Siobhan following in close pursuit, and Savi following in close pursuit. Savi getting some good intel from this race, but Siobhan will finish in P6 as we wait for Nirosh Yeshan, the final driver of proceedings. But Nirosh Yeshan is currently in the pits, and that should be the final results complete. Now, thank you very, very much for joining us for this race at home, for the first round of ACC Race at Home, and we witnessed a wonderful race. We witnessed a wonderful race with Angelo Senaratna trumping Brian Pereira with a wonderful pit stop strategy. Faisal Alim almost making a complete turnaround from being 25 seconds behind Brian to 2.2 seconds at the end of the race. Denan Abesekra, although a minute behind Faisal in P5, a mighty comeback from him after being P7 after his stop-go penalty. And the rest of the drivers all potentially being hampered by early race incidents, early race damage. However, every driver has essentially made themselves proud. They've put on a wonderful show for this first round of Race at Home, and that is us signing off from the CMSC headquarters. We will see you again tomorrow for the first round of CMSC Race at Home iRacing F4 Championship at Osherglen. Good night.